24 hours. That's all anyone will ever get in a day. So how is it possible that some leaders out there get 10 times more done and they're not even stressed? They don't feel the overwhelm. Well, it all comes down to delegation. Now, you probably do delegate, but here's the trap most leaders fall into. You hand something over and it comes back half right. And now you feel you have a choice to make between micromanaging every step or taking it back and doing it all yourself. And that's the reason why you feel busier than ever. I fix this for a living. My name is Aust, and I've helped over 300 CEOs become master communicators. And delegation is often one of the first things we tackle because it gives them their time back and it gives them their headspace back. So let me share with you my 4-step CEO delegation system. It stops the overwhelm without micromanaging and without the boomerang. Let's get into it. Step 1, filter. Don't delegate all your tasks. Eliminate, automate, delegate. 3 steps in that order. Eliminate. Ask whether this needs to be done in the first place. To be honest, most stuff in businesses shouldn't be done. Do you really need this meeting, this task, this report? What would happen if it didn't happen, right? Would the world end? Would the business grind to a halt? Probably not. So eliminate whatever you can eliminate before we go further. Once you eliminated everything you can eliminate, automate. Automate that workflow, automate that recurring task. Use AI, use technology to help you with that. But keep in mind, fix the workflow first before you automate it. Otherwise, you're just scaling chaos. A crappy workflow, automated, is just an automated crappy workflow, and we don't want that. And only now that we've eliminated and automated do we want to delegate. Delegation means everything that's left that I don't have to do, I want to pass on to another human being. And that is the key mindset shift. We're no longer asking, what do I need to do? We're asking, who can do this? And my question I ask myself all the time is, do I need to do this? Am I the only person on the planet who can do this? If it's recording this video, the answer is yes. But for many other tasks, the answer is no. Another human being can help me. And I delegate like a gangster in my business and in my private life. Otherwise, I couldn't be doing the things I am doing, recording videos, writing newsletters, publishing on social media every day. And of course, working with CEOs every day for many hours. That's only possible because I've delegated pretty much everything else. And you can do the same. Here's how. This leads me to step 2. You want to match the task to the right person at the right level. Yes, the right level, because there are actually 4 levels of delegation. It's important to understand this, and I think this is where a lot of delegation goes wrong. Level 1 is by task. Please write this report by Friday. It's the basic level, and a lot of leaders get stuck here. Level 2 is by process. Please write this report every Friday and share it with the relevant people. Now, you have a recurring event. You don't have to delegate it every week, but it's still relatively basic. Where you want to be is level 3, and level 3 means delegating by goal. Please make sure that the leadership team is always aware of the latest sales numbers. Now you've delegated the outcome and someone else can own the outcome. Maybe that's a report every Friday, but maybe that's a real-time dashboard. You leave it up to the other person. Now here's level 4. That's the gold standard. Delegation by anticipation, which means you don't have to actively delegate anything at all. The other person knows what's required, they know the outcome you're looking for, and will just get it done. And they only tell you about it once it's done. Now that's beautiful. Now here's the classic mistake. Most leaders get stuck in level 1, delegation by task, or level 2, delegation by process. Try to move your team up a level to level 3, delegation by outcome. That's where they take ownership. How? Well, this comes down to the conversation you're having when you're delegating. And this is step 3. But before we go there, I just want to let you know that this whole CEO delegation system you can find on a 1-page cheat sheet I've created for you. Just follow the link in the description below. And on top of that, you get 99 other cheat sheets on processes, on frameworks like this that help you become a top 1% leader and communicator. All right, now step 3. Brief. That's the conversation you have with the other person you're delegating to. And you want to follow this framework. Vision, commitment, execution. The mistake I often see is people jump straight to execution. Hey, this is how we want to do this, right? But let's start with the vision. Tell the other person what your goal is. Why are we doing this, right? How does it fit into the bigger strategy, the bigger picture? If the other person understands it, they don't have to come back to you anytime they run into a barrier because they understand what the end goal is. So vision, your goal, comes first. Second is commitment. Now you're asking for an active commitment from the other person. does this work for you? Are you committed to doing this by Friday? If the other person is actively committed, the chances it gets done just went up. And maybe commitment is a two-way street. You also want to commit. Hey, I can keep other projects off your back for this month while you're working on this priority. So you're also committed and you have a pact to get this thing done. And only now do we move to the next step, which is execution. Now you have shared the vision, you have a mutual commitment to get it done, and now you're discussing how it can happen, the execution part. Vision, commitment, execution, that's the delegation conversation you need to have with your team. And one thing that helps is have a clear definition of done. If you just ask someone to, hey, look into why our customers are leaving, maybe you're getting a big spreadsheet next Tuesday, which gives you all the data, but doesn't really tell you anything. Now, if you delegate and say, we need to look into why customers are leaving, please produce a one-page executive summary with the top reason and 3 suggestions how we can mitigate them, and do this by Friday. Now you have a clear definition of done, which will make all the difference. Often when things boomerang, it's not because your team is stupid or lazy, it's often because there wasn't a clear definition of done. So that's an easy fix. Vision, commitment, execution, and a clear definition of done, that's the conversation. Now, you still need to ensure that your team takes complete ownership of the outcome. So step 4, my CEO delegation system is own. I completely understand the situation you're in. I've been in this situation many times myself, believe me, that either you're seen as a micromanager because you're too hands-on, or you're more hands-off, but then quality suffers, and in my case, maybe clients would leave, and we can't risk that. So you're constantly feeling pulled between these two opposites, and here's the way forward. 10-80-10. Now, that's an approach popularized by Dan Martell, and I love it because I think it is brilliant and it is a very simple shortcut to delegating the right way. 10-80-10. 10%, the first 10% is you giving a clear briefing, whether that's to AI, whether that's to a human being, as we've just discussed with vision, commitment, execution, and a clear definition of done. Now, that's the first 10%. You answer any questions and you have a very simple and very well understood way forward. Now, what often happens is that the first 10% isn't really done together. It's maybe 1% or 2%. And then, of course, the task isn't completed in the way you had hoped for. So don't take shortcuts at the beginning. It will cost you way more time further down the line. Now, the middle 80%, the bulk of the work, that's done by the other person. So if you do this, if you delegate the 80%, you can get 5 times more done. The other person with this 10% briefing up front comes back to you with something that's 90% complete at least, even if the person isn't that experienced, but 90% is what you're going for at least, which means the last 10% is something you do together potentially, or you do, and that is taste, quality control, judgment, the things that no AI can do and that juniors tend to struggle with because maybe they haven't had your experience. So 10-80-10 is a wonderful rule of thumb if you delegate to human beings or if you delegate to AI. Don't delegate 1%. You can get 49% back and you do the second half yourself. That's not the way forward. It means you still have to do half the work rather than 20% or less. But you may still see that work comes back that isn't 90% done. And that's a problem, of course. And this is what leads to frustration, to overwhelm. Your team feels they're not getting the support you need, or maybe they think you're overreaching, you're micromanaging, but at the same time, the quality isn't what you're looking for. How do you resolve this? And I've been in this situation with my team years ago until I imposed a very strict rule. I said, I want to empower you. I want you to grow as professionals, which means you have to take over more responsibility. So when I feel I'm getting something that isn't your best work, I will send it right back. Let's say you're getting a report from your team and it has to go to the board, so it has to be very high quality. And you notice a spelling mistake and some AI slop in paragraph 1. What do? Do you spend hours giving detailed feedback, maybe in fixing the whole thing? Or do you send it right back? My recommendation is clear. Send it right back. Now, at the beginning, that's tough. That's a tough mental shift for the team, but it will save you a lot of overwhelm going forward, and it will help the team grow because they have to really do the hard work themselves, and this is how they learn, this is how they grow. If they push back and say, boss, help me, tell me exactly what I need to do, what's the problem here, just tell them that I'm not going to read it until you've given me your best work. Once you've done that, I'm happy to give you detailed feedback, but I can already see from the the first paragraph that you can do better than this, and I trust that you will give me your best work. And this is, as you can see, there are two messages here. One is, I trust you to give me your best work, that you are a great professional and I trust your work once it's done. But also, I'm not going to fix your mistake for you. If you can't be bothered to proofread it, to edit it, why should I be? Not my job. You do this a few times and you notice how things shift. People will stop sending you first drafts and they will check your own work because they know you will not do it for them. Now, here's the truth about delegation. Often it is slower and more painful in the beginning, and it just feels quicker and easier to do it yourself or to micromanage the team. But that habit is a trap. It keeps you busy, it keeps you overwhelmed without being able to focus on the really important things. Now, here's how you get out of it. Introduce the 4 steps of the CEO delegation system. The 4 steps work together. Don't pick and choose. Do all of them. First, filter, eliminate, automate, then delegate. 2, match the task to the person at the right level. Move people up so they own the outcome. Then brief. Brief means you show vision, commitment, and execution and a clear definition of done. And finally, step 4, own. Own means they take ownership and you don't allow them to send you half-baked ideas and reports. That's how you do it. This is how you get your life back, your time back, and it allows the team to grow. So it's a win-win. See you next week.